I see it as absolutely fantastic handmade original art. The facial expressions, the designs of the pipes, the way that the bongs are brought into the picture by giving your personality some life. See, you can elevate your personal experience at highendpottery.com. High, H-I, endpottery.com. All high-end products are one-of-a-kind functional art pieces. Two hitters, pipes, bongs, and bubbles, wake and bakes. highendpottery.com. Don't forget that dash now, all right? You must be 21 to purchase. Also, don't forget, let them know that we talked about this. Say, Arroe told me about this, and they're going to take care of the shipping and handling. Endpottery.com. Hey, it's Arroe, and this is Play It Forward. A look at the unexpected changes endured by the entertainers, writers, camera people, and all others affected, but not infected by the global invasion of the coronavirus. These are real people. Real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 115. Legendary alternative rockers Candlebox has released a brand new song titled Let Me Down Easy. It's the very first glimpse of new material since their 2016 release, Disappearing in Airports. According to lead singer Kevin Martin, the new song is a reflection of the everyday world. He says, "We're all sinners, ain't a saint among us. And you can only hope that when your time comes, it's not a struggle, and that maybe you'll be lucky enough to be forgiven." The track was co-written by Peter Cornell, the brother of Chris Cornell of Soundgarden and Audioslave. The new music will be featured on Candlebox's recently completed new full-length and currently untitled album. The band's main priority right now is the health and safety of family, friends, and fans. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Kevin Martin. Kevin, congratulations on this song, Let Me Down Easy. This has got to be one of the most in-depth songs that I've listened to over and over and over again.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
To bring a song like this to life, is this one of those moments where, you know, they always say, I waited a lifetime to get to this?
Well, I don't know about that. It's a happy accident. You know, I ran into Pete Cornell 2 years ago. We hadn't seen one another in a long time. I'd always been a fan of his writing. I told him I was writing a record and I was looking for some swampy bluesy stuff. And I had loved everything he'd ever done with any of the bands he had back in the 90s. So he said, let me see what I got. And a couple of days later, he sent me this song on acoustic, and it had the same energy and the same attitude that it has right now. And I was like, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this song. And when I sent him the pre-production version, he's like, that's exactly where it needs to go. Don't change anything. And that was it. So I guess, you know, maybe I've waited a lifetime to write with Pete, but it's kind of a song that I knew I always wanted to write. And I was just so happy that he sent me something that was really, that lended itself to exactly what I was able to do with it lyrically and melodically.
Well, it's such a great story piece because, I mean, so many people are going to get different interpretations and stuff like that, but there just seems to be a part of this song that says, it's okay. It's okay. We're going to walk forward, and this song is going to be there as part of a soundtrack of our life.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much. Well, you know, I was a little bit more, I guess, pessimistic about the attitude of the song, but I like your optimism.
Well, I'm hearing something in it, and that's why I'm afraid to ask what the song is about, because I don't want you to think I'm crazy, but I feel like that it's like we're all being challenged, but don't judge. Let's just all get along with each other and let's move forward.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really talking about, you know, the inspiration behind this song was, you know, the great blues artists of you know, the 20th century, the Robert Johnsons and the Willie Dixons and whatnot, that kind of inspired the swampy vibe of the blues that I love. You know, what I really love about the blues and what it brings to you know, what it piques in my ears. So I really kind of wanted the song to have that same Crossroads vibe that Robert Johnson had given me when I was a young kid and fell in love with the blues. So it is that kind of, you know, I sold my soul to the devil. I know I'm not a saint. I am a sinner. We're all sinners. And, you know, when my time comes, I hope that it doesn't, it's not painful. I hope that I'm allowed to be remorseful and repent for those that I've hurt and the sins that I have committed. And that's kind of what the concept behind the song is.
One of the things that's so cool about this is that you did team up with Pete, and I just love that during these times, because it's like the music world is proving to the rest of the world we're all together on this, guys, and we can all create together. So collaborations have been just top on my list.
Yeah, I love them too. They're a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed working with people like Pete. You know, we did that song Buffalo Springfield individually between artists, and it kind of opened my eyes up to really the talent that musicians have. It really needs to be shared with one another as musicians. I think it's really interesting when band guys will be like, well, I don't write with anybody else, I write my own stuff. I mean, you don't know what you're missing when you don't write with somebody else. And, you know, Pete's influence on me as a songwriter happened when I was very young, and I was 18 years old when I saw his first band back in Seattle, and I really loved what he did. I didn't know that he was he was Chris's older brother. So for me, I was just like, God, this guy's, there's so much talent in Seattle. I love what he was doing. And so it was great for me to be able to have this opportunity to write with him and share in this song.
Don't you think that fans of music are also seeing a different side of the music industry in the way that you are uniting together and you're creating this unheard of music? Whereas if it were sports or anything like that, they're all going, oh, you guys are disconnected. But I'm not hearing any fan of music saying you are disconnected. They're actually saying, no, we are connected.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that 100%.
The importance of the song and the album. I mean, we want that album, but I totally get why you guys are holding off a little bit longer. But do we really have to wait till the tour next year?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just because the industry right now, of course, what's going on with venues being closed, and, until there's a vaccine, promoters and venues can't get insurance, bands can't get insurance to tour. The whole thing is just kind of a mess. So I can't release a record, especially with no distribution right now. Sony Red, I think they're pretty much focused on their A game rather than their B and their C game. So that's why bands like myself and, whoever else is signed to, a label like Pavement, which is an independent label, we have to wait to release these records because we just don't have, we're not on the radar with those distribution companies. And of course, we all have to tour on this stuff. I mean, bands like Seether and Candlebox and Papa Roach and, they're Pretty Reckless and whatnot. That's what our lives are. We're touring bands. And it's for us to put a record out without being able to go out there and play on it, our fans will lose interest immediately.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. Yesterday I was listening to Bill O'Reilly, and he was saying that 95% of all music today is streaming. And that man got in on his soapbox and said, you need to go see these bands live. They deserve to have every bit of what you've got in your pocket, because the streaming isn't giving, what the music industry used to do.
No, it's not. And we rely on touring. People laugh at ticket prices and stuff. I mean, I guess people get upset when they pay $25 for a Candlebox ticket, but they'll pay $346 to see Metallica at a drive-in theater, which I think is really interesting. So, it is what it is. But we do have to play these shows in order to pay our rent. And that's really the biggest element of our lives is what we do on the road really pays all our bills.
So what is it doing to you as the writer, the producer, the creator, that the one that's going to be up on that stage when they come up with these rules that you're only going to see pockets of people out there? I mean, I realize a crowd is a crowd, but you're used to seeing huge people together.
Well, I just toured Europe last year, and I only played to 50 and 60 people a night, which was awesome. So, no, I'm grateful for whoever's there. It doesn't matter to me. I've never been an artist that got into this with the hopes that I would be, the Beatles or something like that. I got into music because it's all I knew, and I was lucky enough to have people love the records that I made and still want to see me do this 30 years later. So for me, all I'm looking forward to is getting out there and playing. I haven't played a show since February. I haven't been home this long in, I don't know how long. Even when I was home for what would have been, 4 months at a time, I still went out and I played 2 or 3 shows. So I'm not apparently not doing anything until early next spring or summer. And so I'm having to adjust, and I'm having to adjust to my livelihood and and also being a father and a husband, and being at home and being responsible for that. That's another thing as well that I'm having to take in. So I guess I'm doing the best I can, but I really do want to get out there and play shows, and whether it's to 30 people spread out over a club that holds 1,000 or 300 people in a venue that holds 10,000, I don't care. I just want to get out there and play.
My wife is a first grade teacher, and you with having children and things like that, she always talks about how she has more respect for parents right now because you guys are the teachers face to face with the kids.
Now I'm doing these interviews right now about the single. My son's, on the computer taking, doing a Zoom class. So, it's difficult, man. But I tell you what, teachers do not get paid enough. And if we learn anything from this, is that I think we need to, start a coalition for the teachers union and make sure that they kind of get some sort of federal aid. I mean, it really is just. It's shocking how difficult it is to be a parent and a teacher at the same time.
Well, I just came from a university. I did a lecture today, and it's amazing how the mindset of the average person right now is, I want to be here to learn something, but don't give me too much. I can only handle just a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's life, isn't it? It changes every day.
And I think that's the reason why I love the song Let Me Down Easy, is because in reality, Kevin, you go easy with us on this, and this song sinks into our soul immediately.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
And I love the change up in the middle of the song. What created that? Because, all of a sudden I was like reattracted to it immediately.
Well, we knew that, we had, when you got the lyric that says, sooner or later it's going to get me, son, it's like, the old saying is like, well, sooner or later you're going to get caught, and it's sooner or later is going to catch me, and it's that reality can be eye opening, and I think that what I was trying to do is there needed to be a release of that tension, and that is the moment where you realize that you can be redeemed, you can redeem yourself, you can beg forgiveness, you can ask for some sort of redemption, and that's what that part of the song is. It's about there is light at the end of that tunnel. You gotta figure out how you're going to get yourself there.
Well, the vocals on this song are spot on in the way that the first time I heard the song, I went, oh my God, this reminds me of the Youngbloods with Get Together. This song is going to be around for a long time.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, fingers crossed.
So, the big thing is that the world stopped in March of this year. And the tagline to that is, because we had someplace new to go. Where did you go?
Wow. That's interesting. I guess for me, I went to family. I went to connecting to those people that I love very much and wanting to make sure that they're safe. And I went kind of in my heart to a place where I knew I needed to be a lot more empathetic and have a lot more discipline in who I am as a husband and a father. That's kind of where I went. Aside from coming home from playing 8 shows in February to being realizing that I'm not doing anything for another year, that it's kind of where I needed to go in order to allow myself to be that person that I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Are
you journaling or anything like that to make sure that you document this? Because your son is going to have a child and they're going to ask questions. They're going to say, "How did your dad keep it going?"
My son's going to say, "My father lost his marbles, day one." No, my son and I, we do talk about it a lot. He is journaling for school. And one of the things that we have to do is once a week, he has to sit with his mom and his dad. And we're my wife and I are still married. So we kind of go through like the week and what our emotions were and what our, feelings over what happened on a Monday or what happened on a Wednesday. We talk about them and then he writes about it. And, so he'll be the one that, tells my story when I'm long gone. And hopefully he tells it to his son exactly how this all kind of happened. But, Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's a weird time right now. I never thought in my lifetime that I would experience something like this, but unfortunately, I think it's going to start happening more often than not.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying the bird flu is out there now. I'm going, well, take care of it. Don't just sit back and watch it happening. But even with your son writing, doesn't that inspire you that there could be a budding songwriter right there in front of you because you're teaching him reality through words?
Well, I hope, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid that's not the case. I think my son got a little bit more of his mom than he did me. He had guitar, School of Rock for a couple years, and I don't think he learned anything from it. I knew when I was 6 years old that music was what I was going to do. So I don't know. I don't know if my son has that in him, but I do think that there's a possibility that he'll be a writer, or he'll be, obviously he's very creative because his mother is and I am as well. So I think that there's an artistic element of my son that is going to be influential on something. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's constantly drawing. He's writing now. Maybe he'll be a writer. I don't know. Maybe he'll be a TV show creator or a video game creator or something like that. But he's very creative and he's funny. So I hope that he finds something that he loves like I did. There's no better job than working for yourself and doing what you love. And I hope that that's his opportunity at some point. My wife does. She's got her own clothing line. I'm a musician, so hopefully that's what he learns from us.
You got to come back to this show anytime in the future, Kevin. The door is always going to be open for you, sir.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You be brilliant today, okay?
All right, you too, man. Thanks for the interview.
That's Play It Forward. You can listen to other conversations just like this one on all 3 of my podcasts, Like It's Live, Unplugged and Totally Uncut, and View from the Writing Instrument, all found on every digital platform.